All right. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Good morning.
Yes, Professor. I
Okay.
can.
All right. So today we're supposed to go over the 4Ps, but I'm going to start first with some issues that some of you are having with PathStream. Some of it caused by me accidentally, and some of it caused by PathStream. So what's really important is next Monday you have your midterm, okay? Your midterm will start exactly at 8 a.m. What I will do is that at 8 a.m. I'm going to go over the instructions just to make sure that everybody understands them. It will be on Blackboard, obviously. And I still haven't decided if it's going to be due at the end of the class because I realize you have an hour and 40 minutes, so that's a long time, or if you will have more time. If you have more time, you may have until midnight or whatever. So basically, it will give you time to do that. So that's very important. Okay. So one more thing about the syllabus. So let's see. Today, what we have due. So a couple of things, because some of you have been having technical issues with PathStream. I'm not gonna obviously penalize you if you're late if you have a technical issue, okay? So one of the things that I did is in PathStream, I put the keywords because I caused a problem here. The keywords, I put it as if it's due today, meaning if you turn it in today, you're still not considered late because I caused many of you to resubmit keywords. Now, one of the things that you should know is I don't see what you see. So sometimes, like for example, when I go to and this is something I need to talk to PathStream about. It's not, it's not you. So I'm not able to submit assignments. So I don't see the submit button. So you see, I do, if I go in as a student, I do get this part, but I'm not able to see what you see. But that's fine, it doesn't matter. So first things first, keywords assignment. One of the things when you go to your keywords assignment, okay, if you already have done it and you're going to your display ads assignment, right? And you, whenever the keywords your search ads assignment, and it says that you haven't submitted your keywords assignment, just click on your keywords assignment again, okay? And it will show, okay, it should show there your keywords assignment, and then go all the way to the bottom and click submit. Okay, again, this was caused by me because I didn't think the assignment, the way it was, for keywords, it was done, was the best way to learn how to generate keywords. So I wanted you to generate keywords using Google Ads. And in doing that, what I did instead is some of you, who already had submitted your assignments, they had done well, all of a sudden show like if you had not submitted. So this is all you have to do. All you have to do is you go back to your original assignment and click submit. Okay? Any questions on that? As a matter of fact, in our Blackboard announcements, this is a chat that I had with PathStream. So I said, can you reversal the assignments that I re-allow for resubmission? I wanted to give them a second chance to improve it with the Google Ads tool. And they said, I do not have that capability. When I open student, looks like their work is there. They will need to resubmit to appear again in the grading section. if they're getting a blank assignment, you can go to the screen share. Okay, if they're having a problem, basically, if you're having a problem, they can go, you can reach out to them with a chat or an email, and they will, help you get it back. So I said the best way is to go directly in Blackstream and hit submit, right? And it says correct. The student accesses the assignment in Blackboard. Once it opens up for them in PassStream, they can submit it again. Sorry again for the inconvenience. Okay. Then I realized that the instructions for display ads are not very accurate anymore, because what happens is that Google Ads has done an update, okay, and PassStream hasn't done that update. So I already let them know. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to tell you how to do your assignment with display ads, because the instructions are not accurate, okay? So this is being recorded, it should not be an issue. Okay, so one of the things that is also important is your Google Ads is you can open it directly from your lab, but I also suggest that you have it saved, because this is your tool. This is your tool now to develop everything that has to do with Google Ads. Okay, so you don't need to go through the lab every time you need to use your Google Ads. As a matter of fact, not the password, the address is ads@google.com. This already has mine because it's already open it in mine, okay? But I recommend that you do this, that you have your, save your, okay, now it's not even opening mine. Let's see. Yeah, I'd opened it so many times. Oh, yeah, now it's opening. It just takes a little time when I'm sharing the application. Okay, the other thing that I want you to do, because I realized when this thing happened that, and I told you the first day, and it's in the, I think I even put it in the syllabus, you should do a backup of your work. So you can save, when you go in the lab, you will see that you have the option to save it as a PDF or save it as a PowerPoint. I have it saved as a PowerPoint. So all of my slides that I've done so far, okay, I have them in PowerPoint. So the reason why you want to do that is, well, first, because you want to have your work saved and you have it, even when you finish the course. And number two, as a backup, you have it there. That way you don't have to worry, if for some reason it disappears. The other thing that I do, which I think may be useful for you, is create another PowerPoint where I basically copy and paste things that are important about the background of the company. So here I have the two personas. Here, if I click it, it goes directly to the website. And here, if I click it, it goes directly to the, the video of the CEO that basically says there are challenges and all that. That way, if for some reason I'm doing display ads and I'm trying to think, oh my God, what was it about that persona again that was important? I can go back to the persona of the corporate team and I can see, oh yeah, okay, the guy likes to search on Google and LinkedIn, or his background is, playing sports, or the persona for the public events, what are the things that she likes to do with digital media? Well, she basically uses more Instagram, and so on. So this is a good way. That way you don't have to, you have it kind of handy. All right. And last but not least, this is the presentation that I use in class. I keep updating it. And one of the things that I did for you is that, let me see. Okay. So I highlighted some things that are really important, but most importantly, I put a star in things that I think are super important. So I'm trying to find one. Basically on best practices. On the best practices. So I highlighted the stuff that is important and put a, okay, yeah, because it's here in the keywords. So a lot of times they will ask you about, you know, using best practices or based on best practices. So for example, here on keywords, something that we talked about in class, but you guys, some of you forget, is whenever you search, okay, all the way on the bottom of the page, you have keywords. That's one way to find keywords. So if I'm trying to find keywords for a particular business, let's say for, you know, I'm developing something for, I don't know, this restaurant down the street that sells Chinese food. Well, you know, I can put, if I put Chinese food and it will say near me, and I go all the way to the bottom, it will give me a bunch of keywords that are being used. Okay, and I will show you in a second with the Google ad how to generate the keywords. So this is the part that I'm talking right now with Pathstream that I think they need to improve a little bit. They, you know, Google Ads allow you to generate the keywords. Here you have important tips for success. So anything that is like a best practice or tips for success, I put with a star. This one, very important here. By the way, this that I'm doing right now is very important for, you know, to be organized for your midterm. So for your midterm, you don't need to memorize anything, but you know, you're going to be asked several questions that then you go, oh, let me go back and see what is it that are the best practices for this. So this is the best practices for a landing page. Keep in mind that the difference between, you know, the home page and the landing page, the home page could be the landing page, but the landing page is really when you click, you know, when you click on one of those search ads, you know, where you land is really what the landing page is. Okay, so here you have for landing page, here you have best practices for the search ads. Okay, to action. These are the, you know, the most popular call to actions. Okay, get, buy, shop. So these are well, these are the call to actions. These are call to actions too. Okay. Then here you have, well, you know, the thing about the positive sentiment. The other best practices is to do not repeat the same word more than twice. So here you have widgets, widgets, widgets. So this is bad. Here you have widgets, widgets. This is good. Again, these are considered best practices. Do not use trademarks. Do not use, you know, it uses exclamation points. Use exclamation. So here again, more best practices on your Google Ads. So something, and that's why I highlighted this last night. It's very important whenever you do this that you look at what your competitor is doing. Okay, there is something in strategy called know your competitor, be your competitor, beat your competitor. So you know, one of the things that I did for Handstand is I was looking to see who are their competitors. So that's one of the things that is a little bit more difficult because they're in San Francisco. But if you were doing something here, Okay, so the display ads, we already talked. I know that most of you haven't done the display ads assignment yet, but again, the most important thing about the display ads, okay, is that when it comes to display ads, they are best to generate awareness and interest. I would say consideration, search ads are to capture interested users to move forward them to conversion stage. So search ads, because if somebody's doing a search, they already kind of made up their mind that they want, they're interested in buying something. That's why they're searching it, right? Display ad, on the other hand, you're searching for something, but you see a display on something else. So this is really to generate awareness. Now, what's important is that people who see display ads and they don't notice it, because this is, sometimes advertising works like subliminal. So people who look at display are exposed, this is the right word, exposed to display ads, okay, saw an increase of 40% in the visits, in their visits, okay? So this kind of work together. Display ads help you generate awareness. Search ads help you, let's say, take you to this stage, which is the final stage. Conversion is the sale. Sometimes it's easier to understand it going backwards. Conversion is when you made the sale or when somebody bought the product. Consideration is when they're evaluating if they're going to buy it or not, and so on. Interest is when they, land in your page and they kind of click to see what it is. They still are not. So this is why this area here between interest and consideration is it's a little gray area, because it could be both. You're interested and already considering, or it could be interested and not considering yet. And awareness, again, just because you're aware about something doesn't mean that you're interested or considering or converting. So that's why it's a funnel. A lot of people are aware. Out of those people, some are interested. Out of those people, some are considering buying the product, and out of those people, some are converting. Okay, very important. So in advertising, something that is very, very important is what is called top of mind awareness. And top of mind awareness is that and you think about the brand. So you go into a store and you want to buy a bar of chocolate, and you're not thinking about, oh, I want a bar of chocolate. You're thinking, I want a Hershey bar. So this is the big difference between companies that are that have been around for a long time, like Coca-Cola, Hershey, Tide, that people are already loyal to their brands, which is the ultimate goal. Okay. The good thing is that so the thing that digital advertising has done, which is quite remarkable, is that it allows you to go quickly to this area of the funnel, to the consideration and conversion stage, because you can search for what you want to buy. And if you want to buy right now, I don't know, a TV, you just search it and you can buy it you go to Amazon and you can buy it in seconds. Okay, here is another. So this is the best practices for the display ad. So for your display ad should have company or the brand name. I would say more than the company. I would say brand name, because not all companies need to be in the brand. In the ad. So, for example, in the case of Procter & Gamble, most people don't even know that Gillette is owned by P&G. So it's not so important that the company. What's important is the brand. So it's Gillette. This is actually a good example. Cadillac is not the company. The company is General Motors, but everybody knows the brand as Cadillac. A single targeted headline, which your single target headline is really what you're offering, a call to action, okay, a single focal point or eye-catching image. So this is a little bit more subjective. What are you offering and why your users need to act, okay? And keep it concise. So this is a lot of the same principles of traditional advertising, because as you can see, it looks like a print ad. I mean, this could be a print ad in a magazine or a billboard. Okay, so you have that. Let's see where else. So you have, when it comes to the display ads, you have different types of purposes. You can either target the same audience. So for example, you're targeting here somebody who's buying or needs baby products, or they're not or content targeting. So those are people who are using a specific website. So it doesn't matter what my demographics is. I'm interested in traveling. So if I'm interested in traveling and I'm in a traveling website, then it makes sense to put an ad that has something with miles, because that's traveling. Okay, so again, I highlighted all this stuff for you. All right, so now let's go. If anybody has any questions, just raise your hand. So let's see. So here in Google Ads, what you have is here, you create a campaign, right? So you click on the plus sign, you create, okay. See, this is the only thing sometimes when I share, okay, so here, create new campaign. One of the things that is important for me that, there is some people that have the tendency, and I have that issue too, to follow the instructions. But for me, it's important that you follow the instructions, but you also understand what the instructions are telling you to do, right? So that way, if you want to do this again in, I don't know, 2 months from now, you don't have to look at the instructions. You can just go through. Oh, so this is interesting. I click new campaign, and for some reason it's not. Oh, here it is. Okay, it just takes a little longer, right? So you have here different types of campaigns that you can do, right? Now the instructions tell you to use this because it's different than what you have here. Okay, so when you click here, you have search and display. Okay, I'm not going to go over the search one because the search, the instructions are very accurate, so just follow the instructions and use or have handy your best practices. The difference between getting 100% in your assignment will be if you're following the best practices. If you do the exercise, but I see that you just ignore best practices and then do some things, then it's not going to be perfect. So here, let's click display. Okay. The display is a standard. We're doing a standard. So this is not, so again, think of what does this mean? What does this mean? I'm doing a display. So this is a display. Again, this could appear anywhere. I don't want it to be a Gmail campaign. I want it to be a standard display campaign. And if you want to learn more of what this means, you can click here and it tells you, okay? Oh, this is going really slow. So you basically, these are display ads that they're going in the Google Display Network. I don't want to deviate today, but I will show you next week what is it that you need to do so that it appears also on Facebook and other display networks. So you have different display networks. Think of a display network as a, like, what do you call it? Like one of those TV stations that has many channels. So NBC, NBC has MSNBC, and ABC, which is owned by Disney, also has ESPN. So they're part of the same display network. So Google's display network is, that Google owns YouTube. So it appears, and obviously Gmail and all the. On the other hand, another display network is Facebook. Facebook owns Instagram. So they're kind of different networks. Okay. Now, that doesn't mean that the ad will appear only when you're doing Google. If you open, your browser and you go directly to somebody's website, the ad will appear. It's just when you go to Facebook or you go to, so Facebook has its own way of developing ads similar to Google Ads. Okay, but in addition to that, you can allow the Google Ads to appear on Facebook. So one of the things I'm noticing is that actually a better way to show you how to do this is to go to the original instructions and then tell you where you have to deviate from the instructions, because the instructions do have some things that are correct. So I'm going to go to display ads. No, this is not. Sorry. Wait. This is what I wanted to do. Oh, okay, here it is. Oh, there, here. Launch Lab. So it tells you that to prepare, you should watch this video. We saw this video in class. This actually tells you how to do a display ad, okay, because it goes directly from Google. And here you can develop it directly using the PathStream Lab. So basically, it opens again Google Ads, but it opens it with the instructions. And I know you are aware of that because you are doing it yourself. So here you have the instructions, but you need to launch the lab so that it opens Google Ads. Sorry that it's taking a little long. I don't know why is it that when I use Blackboard and I need to share something, it takes a little long to open, and you've seen it, to open a video, to open a website. I think it's because at this time in the morning, a lot of people are using the internet. I don't know what it is. Wow, this is unusual. All right, do any of you have any questions while this opens?
Did you already post the PowerPoint for the midterm review on Blackboard?
Excuse me?
Did you post the midterm PowerPoint, like the one you showed before?
I will. It is posted, but it's not the newest version, so I will post the newest version.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yes, Julio, you raise your hand?
No, you already answered my question. I looked at the PowerPoint that's there, and it doesn't have all the highlights that you showed us.
Yeah, because yeah, I did that last night.
Okay.
Okay, finally it opened. Okay. So click plus sign. Wow, this is so slow. I don't even know. I think it's like frozen. Oh, there it goes. Okay, plus new campaign. Okay, so I'm basically doing what it says right here. Now create without goals guidance. So basically, these are already pre-done for you. You know, so it's like when you have a camera and it already has the presets. And if you say, no, I don't want to go with the camera presets, I want to do one, you know, with my own settings. So this is kind of the one where you put your own settings. Okay, we want to do a display ad. So far, the instructions are good. So here it tells you, put the business website address. So a little trick, you know, if you see it when it's like this. So when it's like this, it means that if I click it, it goes directly to the website. But if it's like this, you can just highlight it and then you do Control C. Or sometimes if you right click it, no, it doesn't allow you. But if you do Control C and then Control V as in Victor, there you go. It's right there. It's really short. I mean, it's better when you have very, very long things. It's a good thing if you can do. Okay, now it says continue. So let's click continue. So far, so good, right? I know that a few of you already have done this assignment. So if you did it a little different than me and you have better advice, I don't claim to know all the answers, so you can, you know, feel free to jump in. Okay. So now it tells you to ignore everything on the top and go directly to the budget. So let's see. There is a lot of information. I don't know why they don't want you to read this information. It's actually very useful information. But I guess it's so that you can do your assignment quickly. Because here you can put, for example, the name of your campaign, which I think is useful. Okay, but anyway, let's just for now do what your instructions say. If for some reason this thing isn't moving, you know, the ironic thing is that I have a call with Pastream later for the training of the new courses that they're offering, and I think I'm going to spend more time with them telling them. By the way, I think the Pastream platform is amazing. There is nothing like it to learn all this stuff. But, you know, it's not perfect. So just for those of you who know about programming and computer and how to develop a platform, know that this stuff is not easy. So they tell me to put $25, right? Make sure that you don't give any credit card number or anything. So let's keep going down. Okay, under people. So here's where it gets tricky. Under people, okay, you may narrow your target audience. Well, there is, so here's where it gets different. There is no people. There is targeting. So evidently in the past, this used to be called targeting, okay? So it says under people, explore if you can narrow your target audience. So here you have automated, right? But if I click, you can go manual. So that's what you do, you go manual. Okay, so the moment I go manual, I have all these different type of audiences. And I can select some of them. So let's say I'm doing the, I'm gonna do the ad for the corporate events, right? So, so some of the targeting, okay, so here, you can put, I'm gonna put office, because in my opinion, this is really going to office managers. So they have a persona, but they really want to either go to office managers or people who perform the function of an office manager, okay? So I'm gonna put here, yes, I want to target this one. Secretary jobs, no. Again, you can put it more to the targeting. Some smaller offices, the executives do a lot of the decisions that have to do with, but again, we're trying to target as close as possible to what my target audience is. Okay, the bachelor's degree and all that. Okay, you don't need to spend tons of time here. Just pick something that is close to your target, and then you click here, done. By the way, you can always go back by clicking here. This is, you can edit, right? So, oh, you know what? I went back to the, so let's go back over here to the persona, right? So you see what's interesting is that their main business is these corporate events, right? But what they want is the people that go to the public events to also remember the decision-making unit. So this may be the decision-making unit, but the decision-making unit has many influencers. So obviously, if you're an administrative assistant, you're an influencer to the office manager, right? You're an administrative assistant, go to the office manager and say, oh, I went to this great public event, and you know what? They offer, or I went to this great festival, whatever, the San Francisco run, and it was great. And you know what? They do things for offices and for corporate and all that. Okay, so they want these people to influence the decision-making unit. So that's why they're doing the public events. Now, the public events, you may have people that are not obviously influencers of office managers. So let's go back to over here. Okay, so you see here, you can put demographics, or you can expand your, so you see you have here all the reason why I'm doing this, again, for your assignment, you don't need to go so much in depth. I'm just showing you, what is it that this people means. People is that that's where you go to your targeting, and the targeting is very, very important. Now here, it tells you to click new ad, and you're not gonna see this. You're not gonna see this because it's already being done for you. It's already here. What they did is they already said, you know what, you don't need to click your new ad. Of course, you're doing a new ad. So here, if you want to reach more people, you can click here. But what you really want to do is to get to the good stuff. which is get your images. So here's where it differs. And that's why I'm recording this. That way you can follow my instructions instead of the instructions that are here. But there are some things that you do still need to follow, like you need to put the right URL here, because I'm doing the one for, well, actually here they're telling you to do the one for the Hunt San Francisco. So let's just do what they say. This is the one that, so here, I'm just gonna put Hunt /SF. Okay. So it's going to look for images. Okay, now here it goes back to the right instruction. So the tricky part was here, that instead of creating a new ad, it already has created it for you. So here now you can go to your images and logos. So you click images and logos, and you choose. So, it's now going to the website, looking for different images, and it chooses different images for you, so you can select those images. Now, if you don't like any of those images, you can find and upload. You see, you have here scan website, upload, stock images, recently used in your assets. Here in your assets, you can have a bunch of saved images. But right now, for the purpose of the exercise, they just want you to use one of the ones in the website. So I like this one because this one shows teamwork. So I'm going to use this one because this one just shows some people walking. And this one is good too, but I like this one better. This is very subjective. You can use whatever you want. Okay, so now, Canon, wow, cool. Now I can move this. Since my hobby is photography, I probably look at these things more than most people. So I want, in one way, to show the hands. The hands is really the focus one. I just wish I could do this. This would be the ideal, but I don't want to cut her head. So I'm going to try to, again, this part that I'm showing you is not important, but think in terms of an advertiser. What is it that you want to communicate? I want to communicate, teamwork. So I'm going to show, I need to show the hands. All right. I don't want to spend too much time on this. Okay. So select the two ratios. They're already pre-selected for you. All right. So I have my image. Okay. So here you have your image, and you can click here if you want to, to edit it, right? So let's keep on going. Now, you see, ta-da, the image is right here. And you can see the image, how it looks on mobile and how it looks on desktop. Oh, I like it. It does show the hands, and it shows the face. All right. Headline. I'm not going to show you how to do so basically what you're doing is you're filling out all this information. I'm not going to do the assignment for you. You know how to put a headline. Just go to your best practices. Make sure your headline has the things that are important about a headline, and then the description. Click in the description. So again, you just put all the information here and it appears over here. So I'm just going to write handstand so that you see how it shows. a little slow. Or I guess I need to, finish it so that it shows everything. Oh, there it is. So basically you put the headline, you put the description, and then you click add to your ad group, and you can create several ad groups. And then what you do is you use that little tool that they told you to copy this one, what is it called, the snipping tool, which is like your, okay. Do not click here. If you click here, it's going to take you to the website. I made that mistake once. Okay, so pause it. You can pause it there. Okay, so this is my ad. Oh, what did I do? I thought that it pauses it. Okay, so this is my desktop ad. So I'm gonna use my snipping tool, and then when you select it here, then you can copy wherever you want. Well, in this case, you need to copy it obviously to you're going to go back to your assignment. You need to copy it here. You see the screenshot, you copied it in your assignment, and then you click finish. So basically, what I do, and you don't need to do the same thing that I do, is I also put it in my PowerPoint. So, I kind of have my PowerPoints. So here I copied it. I copy the desktop and I copy the mobile. I think in the exercise you don't have to copy both, but I prefer to copy both. And then here you explain why is it that you chose those images, that title, the description, and so on. Again, you're going to be rewarded if you follow the best practices. So where are the best practices for display ads? Here. Here are your best practices for a display ad. Okay. You're not being evaluated on the creative. It's you're not creatives or designers. You're being evaluated on, the content, the messaging. So that's really what I care about. Okay. All right. Any questions? So this is recorded. Now you know what to do. Again, in the instructions, the only thing that was a little different is that it told you to create an ad and it was already pre-created and you just needed to fill it in. So no biggie. Okay, so now I'm going to go back. I'm going to shift gears now to my presentation. So if nobody has any more questions about the ad stream, yes, Irene?
Good morning, Professor. Is this in our class notes?
Excuse me?
Is your instructions, this video presentation you just did, is that in our class notes?
No, it's being recorded right now.
Oh, okay, just don't have the recording that you're gonna.
Yes. You
Okay,
can
thank
just go
you.
to the class recording. Yeah. I figure if I was going to do it in class, and it's also better this way, that way, if anybody had any questions or any comments, that you have that too. Okay, so now we're going to shift gears a little bit. So give me a second to open my marketing presentation. So one of the things, and I'll just end here, one of the, in terms of the exercises, one of the advantages, I'm going to close this, of having the, the Google Ads link here in your, and that you can open it, is I want you to get familiar with it as much as possible. So when you do the exercise, you can play with it, do other things, not just the assignment. For example, I don't know, maybe you have a friend or a family that has a small business. Start trying to create an ad for them or a search ad. That's the best way to learn, is basically, oh, that reminded me, keywords. So one of the things that I'm talking to Pastor is I want them to change the keywords assignment. The keywords assignment shouldn't be you guys coming up with some keywords. It should be generating it with the keywords tool. So there is 2 ways to get to the keywords tool, but the easiest way is if you go here to tools, again, because keywords is so important, you'll go here where it says keyword planner. And that was the reason why I wanted most people to do the keywords assignment again. Some of you had already done it well, but I wanted you to use the tool. So here you see discover new keywords. And this is important because your keywords is something that you need to be, you need to be updating all the time. So start with a website. So let's see the website for handstand. What is the, but again, I'm trying to design keywords not just for the website. I really want keywords because they have 2 very different campaigns. So I'm going to go directly to the team building. Okay. So this is really the website that I want. So I'm going to do Control-C to copy the link, and I'm going to put the link over here. Oh, okay. So you have here, there you go, the entire website or only this page. I'm going to put only this page, get results. You see, here you go. Look how great this is. It tells you, and again, we haven't gotten to the bidding part, but here it tells you if there is competition or not. Medium competition, obviously, because this is corporate team building games. Here it tells you the price. We'll go to that and you can sort it. Okay, so if I want to sort, so these are the most popular ones. So it went from the most popular searches, right? So these are the most, so team building riddle. So these are keywords based on the website. Now, let's say you say, well, here, use different keywords. Okay. So you know what? I don't really see anything that I want. So I'm going to put myself something and see what happens. So I'm going to put, I don't know, team building office. Okay, so then it creates keywords based on what you did. And here you can broaden your search. You can keep adding more things. Here you can, this is important, branded or not branded, okay? So anyway, so here in the tools, again, for your keywords, go to Keyword Planner. So I wanted to show you that because Google makes it relatively easy to come up. And the other way that we already talked about is you do a search. So let's put corporate team events. Well, here in Miami, look at all the companies that do this. All of these are doing ads. If I want to see keywords, I go over here, look at the keywords. If I want to check out so virtual holiday parties. Well, this doesn't sound like a corporate event. Well, it could be a corporate event. You know, maybe they have activities for like during Christmas or whatever. So you see, again, you want to check out your competition to see what they're doing. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. I'm just showing you the type of things that you can do to make your keywords or your ads or better. Because when you go over here, if you use, so look at especially the headline, right? You want to stand out here. Oh, by the way, look at this. So this is something that very similar to this over here. They put it to you over here. So this is a marketing agency. So here you can see how you can stand out. And also on the organic results. Okay, so let's go back to my marketing presentation. So when we talk about marketing, you have a framework, okay, of how you do marketing planning. In your marketing planning, and we talked a little bit about this already, is you need to understand your consumer, you need to understand the context, the collaborators, the company, and the competition. And you have different analytics frameworks for all of these different things. Understanding the consumer is where it starts. Then once you have an in-depth understanding of all of these, that's when you start figuring out, okay, so given that I have this big market, okay, what are the different segments that are relevant to me? And segmentation, segments are kind of like homogeneous groups, and they can be homogeneous in different ways in terms of behavior, in terms of demographics, and so on. Then what is going to be my target? And your target should be, you know, those who are most likely to buy your product based on your positioning. So, you know, Michael Porter, who is like the father of modern strategy, likes to say that when somebody puts in their strategy to be the best car, that's not a strategy, because best car means different things to different people. If you like pickup trucks, then for you the best car may be different than for somebody who wants an economy car or a luxury car. So obviously it depends on where you're positioning within the different segments. And then once you have done all this, that's when you start going into the marketing strategy and planning. The difference between marketing strategy, tactics, plan, and all that is that plan or tactics go into the specifics. You know, I'm going to participate in an event A, B, C on certain month and this and that. So it's kind of, there is something called the marketing calendar. That's where your marketing plan goes. Strategy is what is it that you're going to do without going into the specifics. So you have products, pricing, place, promotion. Those are your 4 Ps. So we talked about the consumer, decision-making unit. So this is what I was telling you before, that you have, so you're really your office manager, I forgot the name, is it Holly or whatever? He's the economic buyer. There are many other influencers. As a matter of fact, the CEO, the president, the owner, whatever, probably has veto power, right? So probably goes to somebody to make a proposal, and if it's within the budget, then somebody probably approves it. Or maybe sometimes the economic buyer is also the decision maker, has the veto power. So it all depends. The decision-making process is very similar to the marketing funnel. Context are all the outside environmental things that can happen, like changes in technology, competitive environment, social, economic, and cultural. I like to add, I'm going to add it to my presentation, but now we even have health or climate change. You have climate change, that affects it. And well, I mean, we found out the hard way that the pandemic obviously affects everything. So this is kind of your context. Then you have collaborators. So you have a company like Peloton, the product, this is a product, but they have several complements. These are collaborators that enhance the product. So these are different companies, but they all enhance the Peloton product. And then when you do your company analysis, this is kind of your, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Competition, this is your competitive analysis, so basically, let's say I'm DoorDash, and these are the most important benefits and attributes for my segment. Well, how do I compare versus my direct competitors? Segmentation, there are different ways that you can segment, but let's say, I'm in the electric toothbrush market, and I'm really my segment that I'm going after is only, so I sell online. So I do delivery services. I'm not competing in retail. So this is another segment. This is a segment that I'm competing. I'm competing in the delivery services for convenience, and then maybe I'm competing in the household income that is less than $59,000. This is a very simplistic segmentation. You can do segmentations in many different ways, but the most common one is usually some sort of a demographic segmentation. And then, the target, you're very familiar that now it's not just demographics, but what marketers are now more focused on is behavior, hobbies and interests, interactions with digital media. Obviously, this is very relevant because this kind of tells you where you want to invest. So here's the positioning map. So, if I'm IKEA, I'm in the mass-produced, low-price area. So these are my direct competitors. If you're one of these high price, then you're in a different segment. So this is very useful because it shows if you're in a very crowded, competitive space or not. You can segment even this farther, because I don't think IKEA and Walmart are very different. So maybe one is, the concept where you do everything yourself. So you have here, do everything yourself, don't do anything or have it all made for you. And then low price and high price, and you have IKEA, it says everything do it yourself, low price. Walmart is kind of here in the middle. They're low price, but it's not everything do yourself. you can buy some things that are already made for you. So let's look at the 4 Ps. So when you think about a product, like in the case of Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks, you think of the coffee, but the product is more than that. It could also be the service. So, if you go to the Starbucks annual report, was it for this class? No, we did the Starbucks in another class. The experience is almost more important than the product. So people go to Starbucks not only because of the coffee, but because of the experience. Pricing, you have different pricing segments. What's interesting is that, when the iPhone first came out, there was only one iPhone and they were very expensive. So now iPhone is competing in many different segments. It goes from $399 to $999. So what's important is that you can compete in different segments. You see this a lot with automobiles. You have to, Toyota has the Lexus, which is the luxury segment, and then they have, the SUV segment, the mid segment, and then the economy. So Place, the traditional way to distribute your product. So if you're somebody like P&G, you have many different ways to distribute your product. You can go directly to the retailer. So let's say this is Walmart. So I sell directly to Walmart. Walmart sells to the consumer. Let's say I'm going through a wholesaler. So, P&G doesn't go, let's say, to drugstores. It goes through a wholesaler, drugstore, and that wholesaler, sells to all the universal drugstores or convenience stores. Let's say there's a convenience stores. So when I used to own my convenience store, there were 2 big distributors or wholesalers where I bought P&G products. So, P&G doesn't go to every retailer, it only goes to the big ones. Or you can go through an agent and a broker. So you have different brokers for different categories. This is more common. So let's say you come out right now with a snack, or a beverage, some sort of a beverage. Well, if you try to go to Publix and sell them your beverage, it's gonna be very difficult. But you can go to a broker and they sell to all the retailers, and it's easier to go through the broker. They sell the product for you. The other thing that is good about the broker is if you don't have a sales force, then the broker becomes your sales force. Of course, if you're doing online, then this all changes. So this is, Dollar Shave Club. You go directly to the website and you do everything yourself. And what this has done is that it has changed the way companies distribute their products, because now Gillette also has its own shaving club. So Gillette, that is owned through P&G, and Gillette you can buy obviously in the store, as you always done, and you can buy it online and have the club concept where they deliver every month. When it comes to promotions, you have basically what is called consumer promotion and trade promotion. So trade promotions are those promotions that are directed to the trade. So let's say, again, I'm P&G, or what is this? Oh, okay, this is Planters. So if I'm Planters, I think this is owned by Kraft. They basically paid an allowance, or it's called a supermarket feature. The supermarket feature allows Planters to have an ad on their flyer, okay, have a reduced price, and do a display. So this is a display unit, and it's in the in the main aisle. So that Walmart has this aisle which has all the items that are on display that are reduced. You can tell that it's reduced because it says here it was $4.98 and now you can buy it for $4. So this is the way that promotions have been done traditionally. And then there is like a $3 billion industry that, the coupons, they're called freestanding inserts, FSIs. And I used to work in electronic coupons. So this is still very much alive. It hasn't gone away. So this continues to be, probably the older people in your family are still very loyal to this. Because this is still my mother. She's always telling me, I have a coupon for this, I have a coupon for that. Don't forget. So okay. But now, of course, promotions are done also online. So you go to Instacart or you go to Walmart.com, and all of these things that were going on in the stores are done digitally. So this is your typical trade or consumer promotions. And you have a concept in marketing that is very important, and it's called push or pull. Push means that you're pushing product to the trade. You give them incentives so that they buy more product and they push it down the floor and they do discounts. Pull are those events that you do directly to the consumer to pull the product off the shelf. So think of pushing product through the shelf or pulling product through demand by pulling from the shelf. So promotions, we already talked about the promotions, but within the P of promotions, you have what is advertising and media. And so, by the way, the difference between media and advertising is the advertising itself, the ad. So this morning we were designing an ad, okay? The production of a commercial, of TV commercial, the concept, the storyboard, that's the advertising itself, what you see. Media is how do you deliver that ad, okay? How do you get it so that people see it? So in the past, it used to be television, radio, newspaper, magazine, out of home. I don't know what the characters is. You have a question? Okay, somebody needs to put it on. Fleming, Ruth, I put you on mute because we could hear a background. So this is interesting. In 2019, you can see how digital now is almost twice as much as TV. So obviously there has been a huge shift in spending. So I remember when I was selling or trying to convince my clients to do advertising, and they were doing like digital advertising, it was like less than 10% of their budget. They kind of did it because they knew that it was like the thing that was a fad, and I guess everybody needed to do it, but nobody took it too seriously. And I'm talking about like not that long ago. I'm talking about like 10 years ago. And it has changed so much in the past, especially like the past 5 years. And that's why obviously Google and Facebook, which are the two biggest digital advertisers, have grown so much. Now, the reason why we're here is because that has become a big opportunity. According to Capgemini, they are one of the most reputable consulting firms, 77% of the companies said that they're lagging digital skills, where the key barrier is bringing to the organization people to the digital space. So here you can see the gap. So the most important thing for them is people to have analytics, and this is the gap, 37%. So this is the gap of what they need and what they have. So let's say this is 40%. 40% said that they have those people, but then an additional 37%. So let's say this is 87%, or this is like 77%, said that they don't have them. They are looking for. So these gaps right here is what people are looking for. They're looking for people that can do analytics, mobile content marketing. So this is what we're doing. Social media, well, there is another course for that. Email marketing, marketing automation, SEO. This is what we're doing. Digital advertising is what we're doing. So this is why this is important. And we've talked about this, and you know very much about the customer journey. Now what's interesting is that now you understand how different ads can play different roles in the customer journey. So we saw that display ads are very useful in this area, and search ads are more useful in this area. So another term that you probably have heard is omni-channel marketing. So there's now this, consulting firms that basically, because there's so many companies out there, says, oh my God, I know that I need all these things, social media, mobile, online, but I've always had physical store, and I just don't have the capabilities to do all this. Says, okay, we can help you with the big data so you can start doing AI, CRM, which is the sales platform like Salesforce.com. Will help you with your e-commerce website, social media advertising, and mobile advertising, and so on. So here, let's see, I'm not going to go over this because this presentation is not only for you guys, it's for other classes that I use. You know all the things that are related to digital media, so I'm not going to go through this. Just so you see, the most expensive one when it comes to influencers is YouTube, but YouTube is also one of the best ones. Okay, and we're going to have a class on Google Analytics. So any questions? Again, I just wanted to go through the basics of the 4 Ps, because obviously marketing, for some of you who have taken, principles of marketing, what I talked about today, you already have heard it all before. But for those that are taking this class and haven't taken other marketing classes, I want you to understand the whole marketing framework. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be probably developing new marketing courses for Miami-Dade, to take marketing to the next level. All right. Anybody has any questions? Yes, Rosario?
For quiz number 6, you mentioned that you were going to omit a question.
Quiz number 6. Okay. Send me via email, and I know some of you have. Send me the quiz number and the question where you have a doubt. I know somebody asked me a question that I saw this morning, but I didn't have time to really read it. I cannot show here the quizzes because if I show the quiz, it shows the quiz for somebody with their grade, and I don't obviously want to show that. So just send me, the quizzes are graded automatically by PathStream. But if there is a question that is vague, like I think it was Julio who found something that was vague and the answer could be true or it could be false or it could be one or the other, then I will give you credit for that. And I have the ability to change the grade in your grade book, but I'm not able to change the question or, the answers in PathStream.
Yeah,
And if
it was basically the same question that Julio mentioned. So I'll just send you the question.
Okay, I forgot what the question was about, but yeah, it was kind of vague because in one article it said one thing, and in the remarketing, right? The retargeting.
Yes.
Yeah, the retargeting. Yeah, I remember now. Yes, Julio?
Yes, if you check the email, one of the emails I sent you, the question is on there.
Okay, yeah, but do you put the quiz number? Because for me it's easier, just go to the quiz number and go to the question. If you just put the...
I don't remember that right now, but I'll resend it with the quiz number.
Yes, please. Whenever you have an issue like that, make it easy for me to find it. So put the the quiz number and the question number. That way I can just go directly to it.
Okay. I have another question. This is regarding the midterm, if you're fielding questions on that. Just so for my understanding, we're going to come to class at 8 o'clock in the morning, and then you're going to go through the directions for the quiz, and then we're going to go start taking, the midterm, and we'll start taking the midterm after that, correct?
Right, it's going to be an essay type of questions. So it's not going to be multiple choice. It's not going to be true or false. It's going to be questions that you're going to have to answer. And I haven't made up my mind yet. Okay. Obviously, it's open book. So that's what I'm saying. Have your notes handy and organized. My exams are usually 24 hours. That they are usually exams that you can do in a couple of hours, but you can submit it. You have more time, because for me, it's more important the work than that who can do it quicker. I don't care who can do it quicker. I want you to do quality work. So I still have to choose exactly what I want, but it's going to be a real case study where you're going to apply the concepts that we have done. What it will not be, okay, because I thought about doing this, but then I said, no, it's going to be too complicated and people may have issues with the platform. It's not going to be, design a display ad, design this. So it's not going to be what you're doing right now, in your assignments. I wanted to do that, but the reason why I'm not going to do it is because I don't want somebody to tell me, oh, I can't log in to Google Ads and I cannot do this, or I'm getting an error. No. So it's going to be about a real case where you're going to evaluate something and then basically explain what's good, what's bad, and what do you recommend doing about it. Okay?
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, well, I guess we're going to finish a little early today. You have a lot of work to do. Now you have your modified instructions. Okay, Irene?
Hello, Professor. So I have a question on the assignment, on C assignment, the one we're doing now. Where do I find, how do I make that snapshot? How do I insert that into the slide?
So one thing that I want is when I'm presenting something, and if you have questions, please bring up the question when we're doing that. Of course, I don't mind doing it again, but I was showing that like half an hour ago. So now I need to find it. So let me see if I can find it quickly. Okay. Well, I'm going to show you. So you have in your assignments, in the first part, it tells you how to use this tool. This tool is called the snipping tool, right? So when you have the image in your assignment, the snipping tool, and if you don't have it handy, you can search for it. You can just put, snipping search. And I believe somebody in the last class told us how to do with a Mac. So here you look for this snipping tool. So this is your snipping tool. But it even tells you how to do the shortcut. And when you do the snipping tool, all you do is you click new. So let's say this was the image, right? Let's say this was the image. So when you click new, then, you select what you want to copy. So now it is, see, there it is. And then once you have it here, you can go do many things. You can copy, you click copy, and then let's say I go to, again, I'm doing it here because I cannot go back into the lab again right now, as I was. So now if I click, I can right click paste, or I can do Control V, and it's right there. And then you can, so you should go to here in PathStream. I believe it's right here in the first one, where it tells you how to create a Google account. Somewhere here it tells you how to use the, I don't know exactly where it is, but if you go to the beginning, it tells you there is even an exercise where you use the snipping tool. Okay. Here is how to get help. So I don't remember exactly where it is, but in one of these, at the beginning modules, it shows you how to get the snipping tool. But like I told you, the easiest way is just click here in your search, and then when you find the snipping tool, see, mine is already there, but if you put snipping tool, then it's going to come out. You see, it's an app. You can open it, or you can pin it to your start button, or do whatever you want. I have it, so it's on my taskbar. So this is my taskbar. So just have it handy because you're going to use it all the time. All right?
Thank you, Professor. Thank you.
All right. Anybody else? Okay, Julio, yes?
Yes, just to make sure, you'll be posting that presentation with the highlights today, correct? The updated one?
Yeah, I'm going to do it right after we finish the class so that I don't forget. So that will be, again, is the same presentation. What I did is I highlighted and put a star. The star is where the best practices are.
Right.
And highlight is as if I were, highlighting what's most important.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
All right. Anybody else? Okay, well, so again, for your exam, you don't really need to study. Just do, if you have done all the assignments and you have done all the work and you have your, this presentation and you understand what this presentation says, then that's it. Because when I ask you, evaluate this display ad and tell me why it's good or bad and what could you do to improve it, let's say that was one of the questions, it doesn't necessarily need to be that way, then you know exactly what to do. Okay, well, great. I know that you have a lot of work to do, so today we're finishing a little bit early. I'll stay a few minutes in case somebody needs it. Okay?